Today we go over Star Wars Episode 9, the final installment of this trilogy. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, Episode 9 is a very important film for not only JJ Abrams, but also for a lot of Star Wars fans around the world. The fact that this is the final film of the Skywalker saga, I just feel like that Disney and Lucasfilm really have to get it right in order to satisfy a majority of fans around the globe. But looking at everything here that has been happening with Episode 9 these past couple of weeks, we have been learning a whole lot more about this movie when it comes to some of the set designs, the set locations, the scene schedules, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. Now, we do know that Prequel Trilogy continuity will be a part of Episode 9. Now, as far as that goes, we really have no clue exactly what both JJ Abrams and Chris Terrio will be doing with that Prequel Trilogy content in Episode 9. However, we could very well have a very good idea as to what at least a part of this will be for this movie. Now, part of the Prequel Trilogy continuity will be shot over in Italy, specifically over in Caserta, Italy. This is a huge hint at the return of Naboo / the city of Theed on the planet Naboo. Now, that is one thing that I'm honestly trying to wrap my head around right now. If Naboo does indeed come back into Episode 9, alright, what would be the main purpose of doing so? Now, it does make sense in a way because we do know a lot of characters that were actually on Naboo. We have had, Padme Amidala there, Anakin Skywalker, Qui-Gon Jinn, so many characters that we know and love from the prequel trilogy that were actually involved in that environment for the Star Wars saga. But looking at Star Wars Episode 9, alright, apparently they are going to be shooting over in Caserta, Italy, specifically for the prequel trilogy continuity. Now, that is a huge hint that Naboo is coming back into play here to the Star Wars universe, and it really does make one wonder exactly why would Naboo be coming back into Episode 9? That's a huge question open on the table right now for discussion, of course, and I think that there are a couple of reasons as to why Naboo would come back. Now, there's a great possibility that maybe Leia goes to the planet of Naboo and she actually explores, where her, mother actually was, and maybe she visits her grave or something around those lines. Maybe this is indeed the final resting place of General Leia. Maybe she does indeed pass away in the movie, and then that's where her funeral takes place. Again, like I say, we're not quite sure if there's a time jump in the middle of Episode 9. A lot of people have been bringing this up as a great idea, is that a great way to evolve these characters is to have multiple time jumps or a single time jump in the middle of this movie. I know that Solo: A Star Wars Story tapped into this idea, as well as Rogue One. It seems like it's a little pattern that the anthology films are doing, so if they could somehow incorporate that concept into Episode 9, it would be a great way to explore multiple different timelines, telling us different aspects of Star Wars Episode 9 and where our characters are really going. The other possibility is that maybe we are indeed heading all the way back over to Naboo, is because perhaps maybe Rey goes there for a specific mission. Now, we do know that by all of the different concept art and storyboard descriptions that we have been going over these past couple of weeks or so, one of which went over how Rey actually does indeed go on an adventure of her own in Episode 9, kind of similar to what Luke Skywalker does in the original trilogy. So could she quite possibly be going over to Naboo, where we do learn the true lineage of the character of Rey? Like I say, I think that there's a whole lot more to the character of Rey that we currently know nothing about. I think that, what John Williams said in that podcast a couple of months ago, how he just doesn't buy it, he doesn't believe that she's a nobody or that her parents are just nobodies. He thinks that there's something else there, and I do too. I think that we're going to really see the big picture in Episode 9 by JJ. I think that Naboo is the best choice too, if you're incorporating a prequel trilogy planet in a Star Wars movie that's based in the sequel era, because not only is it so iconic, a lot of our favorite characters, like I said before, have been there. Qui-Gon, Anakin, Padme, you name it. All these different characters have been there. They have a history there. So to go back there for the very first time in a very long time would be extremely nostalgic to a lot of Star Wars fans around the world, old, new, and even people that grew up with the prequel trilogy films. That's the thing that I feel that JJ is going to do, is that this movie's going to have so much nostalgia, and we have heard that this movie's going to have a lot of fan service in it. Not necessarily a bad thing always. You know, fan service can be a good thing in many cases if there is a true purpose to it. And I believe that if we are going back to Naboo here, there has to be a purpose of going there. There has to be a true meaning of why we will be going over to Naboo, other than to make it, you know, flashy for episode 9 and say, hey, look, we're going back to Naboo. I think you gotta go there for a real reason. That's exactly where it'll mean something more to the viewer, to the person watching the film. And, of course, you have to give whatever character is going there a true motive of going to Naboo. It would only make sense even all the more so that way. The other reason I think that we could be going to Naboo is that it could have something to do with Kylo Ren. Maybe he goes there and tries to find out more about his grandmother. He knows about his grandfather. Maybe he wonders about his grandmother. That's another big question open for sure. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.